What's up, YouTubers? It's recording because the stop recording button says stop recording. And so today, we're going to talk about the strength card. I was watching a video. Somebody was talking about your wolf or your shadow and kind of referenced the strength card once. And then I started kind of getting some downloads about strength card. As far as, when you resonate with somebody, it all has to do with how much of your own shadow that you've incorporated, right? And this is like the ultimate card, right? You're looking down into basically your own shadow, that part of you that wants to consume you, and staring right down its face. And you have this infinity sign above your head. Ultimately, it's the lack of fear of death, right? If you can overcome the fear of death, you will pretty much overcome every other fear. And here's the really weird part. When you really think about it, I used to think that everything was alive, but I'm pretty sure that everything is dead. Alive and dead. There's always a dichotomy. Everything is essentially, if it's coming from the center where nothing's moving, then it's dead. There's this illusion of being alive, but if you can realize that you're already dead, you're really immortal, right? There isn't a part of you that doesn't change. The part of you that's constantly changing, you could say that is evidence that you're alive, but the reality is that you're dead, right? There isn't anything to be afraid of, right? The mortal body, like if you're afraid of being eaten by wolves, then you'll be eaten by wolves. If you're not afraid of being eaten by wolves, then you won't be. Even if you're face down by a bunch of wolves, because they won't sense fear. Animals attack fear. I mean, unless they're extremely hungry, right? I'm going to turn my phone off because it always makes these dumb noises. I had a dream, and I forgot that I had this dream until I just read it, because I've been editing my book, and it's taking me way longer than I thought it was going to take. A couple weeks ago, I think, Valentino, if you're watching this, I canceled one of that Friday meetings, and I'm not going to hold a meeting tomorrow. I've got other stuff I got to do, which is why I haven't been advertising it. And so there's some other reasons that we can talk about in this video. But I had a dream where I was hopping around from treetop to treetop, and I could sense that there was a bunch of wolves on the hunt underneath me, and it was at nighttime. And I had a friend that was one of my buddies that was getting chased down by wolves, and he got cornered. And then I was about ready to jump down in front of him so that the wolves would eat me and he could get away. And then I woke up. So the parts of your shadow that you've dealt with will indicate what groups of people you're comfortable being around, right? Your pack. And the ones that have no fear of death are the only ones that I feel like I really resonate with, because you have to overcome so much to where understanding that death is an illusion. You can't die because you're already dead. Right? I mean, it's weird to think about. You can't kill something that's already dead. That's why you can't die. So you're just alive and dead at the same time. You can't kill something that's not dead. Or can't kill something that's already dead. Yeah, if you think about it, that it's like, how can I explain this? Uh, it's not that you're just dead, like not moving, because you can never stop moving. And if you try to, if you stop moving this body, then this body will appear to die. But your consciousness, you can't. Your consciousness doesn't ever go away, right? Even if you're not thinking, you're the creator, right? So you're creating this body, these thoughts, these emotions, whatever. You're the creator of those things. The creator is a void. The creator isn't any kind of substance that you can hold on to. It's where everything comes from. It's like looking at the center of a black hole in space-time, right? All the light's being created around it, and it's getting pulled towards that black hole. But in the center, there's nothing. It's just empty. But everything's coming from there. When you look at the bigger picture, it comes out, and then it comes back, and then it collapses back towards it. So the heart is actually a black hole. And your solar plexus, that's where the light gathers around it, right? That's where everything's coming back. That's why it's called solar. Really interesting when you look at pictures of the sun, too, because you see light is collapsing back towards the sun, that electromagnetic field around it, but you'll see gaps in it that just look like there's just black holes. In the center of the sun, it's just black. It's always a black hole right at the middle. That's the heart. It's a black hole. That's where everything comes from. The creator. And the light that you see is collapsing back towards the source of where it came from. That's why it's emitting light. It's getting hot as it's collapsing back towards itself. Right? All of our relationships getting hot as we're tensions building as we collapse towards each other. Yeah. Somebody posted something. Well, I posted a thing on LinkedIn today, and then I saw a post where somebody asked, "Hey, would you guys be interested in like a meditation class?" Because this guy had been doing being trained by a Buddhist master for like 12 years. He's like, and I said, I responded, I said, make it mutually incentive for the people in the group. Otherwise, it feels like we're just wasting our time. And this is kind of part of the reason why I stopped doing the weekly classes. For one thing, I would want to post them on my YouTube channel. And if you guys weren't part of the incentive, right? If I'm making money off of you guys showing up to a class that I'm advertising, and eventually I say, obviously I'm not going to make money off of it right away. But in the long term, if somebody started watching our videos, and I could not monetize that for you guys as well, and you guys didn't have an incentive to get anything out of that, then I'm kind of doing you a disservice. It's a sort of vampiristic energy, right? An imbalanced return on what you're putting in. There's somebody that offered to help me with my YouTube channel, and if you're watching this video, I really appreciate your time. And this is all I had to offer. I said, look, all I can offer you is 50% of if you're gonna help me monetize my YouTube channel, that's great. The only thing I can offer you is 50% of what we get back, since you're the only other person helping. I'm not going to value my time more than your time. And this is something that I firmly believe in, because if you're putting time into something, you should be getting something out of it. If you're associated with me, you better be getting something out of it, right? I'm not gonna. Now you can say, right, I could sell you energetic readings, right? But if you're paying me money and all I'm doing is just telling you where you're at, you should know where you're at already. And if you don't, then me giving you an energetic reading isn't going to raise your awareness at all. You're just going to go, oh, okay, it'll be a confirmation of something you already know. You're basically wasting your money. This is a hard thing for me to say, because I mean, how many people out there are making money off of doing just that, right? You're not really creating anything together and getting a mutual return on it. The only thing you can do is set boundaries with the rest of the world that wants to do that, right? That wants to value their time more than they want to value your time. You have to really have to master your shadow, right? Because and you have to be able to learn how to be creative in your own energy and create for yourself, and then receive, right? I mean, that's why I'm writing books, just speaking about this very thing. And that's actually the dysfunction that you see in society on the grand scale. You got a lot of unequal exchanges of energy. If you go to work for any business, not my nose is itching. Somebody's watching this, just not happy with what I'm saying. You can go to any level of business, or almost every business structure out there is about unequal exchanges of energy, especially if they're all contract positions. Let's say I open a business and I've got a bunch of different contract employees that are just charging me money to do something. They're not directly connected with the incentive or the profit margin of what I'm doing for myself. There's going to be an unequal exchange of energy there, right? And their creativity is not tied to the project that I'm doing. All they're doing is just selling me a service. Let's say maybe they're just selling me financial advice, or they're just marketing whatever it is I'm doing. So if I'm paying for marketing, they're not a part. I'm taking part of my revenue and applying it to them, but there's not going to be an equal exchange there unless you had a value system where they would get a percentage of profit depending on how much we made through marketing. You could work something like that, but most marketers aren't going to do that. They have because they don't want to take on your risk. That's why money exists. People don't like taking on other people's risks because they don't know how to heal the relationships between each other. They haven't mastered this. So they allow a part of their shadow to feed on their environment instead of taming it completely. No fear. You cannot kill a pure heart. You can't. It's already dead. A pure heart is already dead. It's black. If you try to feed on somebody with a pure heart, you're looking straight into your own shadow, and you are feeding on yourself. That's how we heal this place. And I've understood this at a really deep level for a long time, and a lot of people don't understand that. That's why magic practitioners that try to feed on you in certain ways, if you have mastered yourself to the degree that you are like this all the time, all they're doing is attacking themselves. They are looking right into a black hole. Shall we pull some cards? Let's put the strength card back in. Which is why I've tried to set these boundaries where, I just saw the justice card, right? You'll bring justice in your own life that way. When people come to try and sell you something, this happened to me. Somebody tried to sell me client acquisition, right? It's like, I'm going to get a client, right? You guys, I will never have a client. The only thing I will ever offer is to work with you guys and create something together. We'll be each other's clients. We can call it that, right? But we'll have equal incentive in whatever project we're doing. And I would love, and I know there's a couple of you that have voiced that could do this. We could do it this way. Say yes in the chat if you're interested in becoming part of a big co-creative project that we'll just advertise on YouTube, and ideally, and this is something that I'm going to do, I'm probably going to hit the road here in 2 or 3 weeks. And I kind of planned this out, and I think I can do this. And what I want to do is have it open to people reach out and say, hey, I'd like help with doing something. Anything. It could be help, re-roofing your house or helping you fix your car, come and give you prayer. Maybe you've got some family troubles or anything that you think like you need. Maybe even if you need advice on something, I'll travel to you and come help you. Now, if I got to go outside of this country, then I would need somebody to pay for it. And I would respond, depending on what it is you want me to do. I'd probably ask for at least travel money, some type of travel. Like if you wanted me to travel over 2,000 miles, I'd be like, hey, can you throw me $100 or so? I'll come help you do whatever you want. And I'll be cheaper than anybody else because all I'm doing is just advertising that on my YouTube channel so that people understand that help's available. All you have to do is reach out because not everybody has money, and a lot of people don't know the right way to step forward to start doing things for themselves. So even if it's just spending a day with somebody and helping them understand, what they need to do for themselves, maybe they could become part of the project, right? Could be their interest to travel around and go help other people do things, right? There's nothing that's more fulfilling than just traveling around and helping other people do things. And if you wanted to become part of that project, I'd love to have you. We'd learn a lot from each other in the process. And if one of us didn't work out, then you can always part ways, but the incentive would be to whatever the channel makes. We'd end up with advertisers, but the more people that know how to promote it, that are involved with it, the more successful it'll be, right? The more, it's like you're creating a magnet. Let's see what card comes out while we're talking about this. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, loving, spiritual, nurturing energy. Queen of Pentacles is one of the most abundant cards in the deck, right? You're creating abundance because you're attracting what people want to see, right? We want to see people lifting each other up and investing our time in one another to the mutual benefit of everybody that does that. You don't want to invest your time into something where you don't get anything out of it, right? How can you support yourself if you're investing your time in it and it's not giving you a return on something? And that was the point of the feedback that I gave somebody about running like a Buddhist team. Man, there are so many networking events on LinkedIn. You could go to networking event after networking event after networking event over and over and over, and it won't get you anything. All you're going to do is meet people that are offering something and want to sell you something. Hey, we're all trying to sell something to each other. What are we doing? Right? It's like going like this all day long, beating each other's heads up against the wall. What are we doing? Cletus McFarland's got the formula. Watch that guy's channel, or Vice Grip Garage. All those guys have networked together, but they're networking together in a way that's bringing them more audience to be more creative. But it's always going to be unbalanced if the rest of the population isn't doing the same for themselves, right? If all of us are too dumb to figure out that, hey, this is how you do it, then they're going to have a high number of people watching them. 2 million people. I think Cletus McFarland's got over 2 million subscribers. So he's just living large off of just, advertisers. Because they know how many people are watching him, right? Everybody else going to work on a 9-to-5 job and coming home and watching him because they would rather be doing what he's doing. That's why. Right? Much rather be doing that. Creating something together and sharing each other in their emotional wealth, the Three of Cups, and partying together. That's what they do. If you watch those guys, they party every day. And you can turn anything into a party. Work projects are great parties. You watch him, he's building a house. His buddies are helping him. They just jump in there, start pouring concrete, but they're not, they're not forced to do it, and it's not a job. So it becomes fun, right? If there's an attachment to something, it's not fun. If you feel like you got to go to work every day and do it to survive, it's not fun. But when you can jump in and have a project to help someone build something every once in a while, then it's fun, right? It really is fun, and you can make it fun because you don't have to get up and do that every day. And then you're kind of in your Eight of Pentacles energy, right? Your day-to-day spiritual work. Build the kind of world that you want for yourself. Tower moment. Well, that'd be a change of direction, right? All of a sudden, big towers happen. Now when that popped out, that just poofed right at the day. As soon as I tried to shuffle, the tower popped out. Yeah. I'll be perfectly honest. After trying to finish this second book, it's just like, man, I need to change direction. I am out of here. I don't want to do any more. If I'm doing YouTube videos, I want to do it with you guys. And I want you guys to be on the reciprocating end of what we're doing, right? We can use my book sales, whatever, to help, push this out there. And eventually we'll end up having every kind of co-creative project you can imagine. I ain't got so many ideas. We'll be building free energy devices. You name it. Living in your star energy. Yeah. Teaching people how to heal themselves. Stop paying for services. Figure out how to, do something together with the people around you. Gonna have a lot of haters in that respect, I'm sure. Yeah. Slow moving energy, right? Emotional fulfilling, but slow and steady wins the race, right? I don't think I need to pull any more cards in that regard. But put in the comments below. If you're interested, I'll write your name down. And once we get probably, I'd say 10 people, I'll have to organize it, right? I got to finish this other project, but pitch it and probably put it on one of the crowdfunding sites. But if we have enough people that are promoting it through a crowdfunding site, let's say there's 8 of us promoting that crowdfunding site on every social media, outlet you have, will attract people that will just want to advertise and support it, right? It's much easier than you think, right? All you got to do is create a right contract. I can do that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, probably by what's today? End of April, I would bet. 3rd week of April, I can have this thing rolling, or end of April. By May, we're on the road. Yeah. What do you guys think? Sound like a good idea? Transformation. Yeah. Doing something different. Angels are taking over the workforce. No more of this goofy ass stuff we've been doing for so long. Yeah. We gotta do something else. Picked up the group collective. Let's get going. Let's get moving. Love you guys. I got other stuff to do today. And but I want to make sure I got on here and talk about this subject. Master your shadow. What are you afraid of? Right? What's the worst thing nothing can happen to you? If you read my first book, I've already gone through that process, right? I've died a couple different ways. I was underwater to where I thought, my whole life flashed before my eyes. I thought I was literally going into the next life. And maybe I did and just didn't realize it, right? Because all of a sudden I just poof came out of the water somewhere else, and it was like pretty surreal experience. Nothing like, if you've never gone through something like that, really makes you question a lot of things. Especially the art of surrender. Surrendering and has a lot of benefits that are not easy to verbalize. Yeah. Love you guys. Catch you later.